The following audio dub is made with the permission of the original author Mandroid. Please support the original production by following the link in the description below. Thank you.
The sun sneaks through the cracks in the curtain and rouses you from the sleep you were so nicely enjoying. Stupid sun, always ruining your fun. You were enjoying that dream too, at least you think so. You roll out of bed and start your morning routine. As you shuffle your way to the kitchen, you notice that Anon and Rainbow are still passed out on the couch. Looks like they kept going a few hours after you turned in. You examine the myriad of bottles around their bodies. Looks like they went through the last of your booze, too. Inside the kitchen, you begin the task of finding any food from Earth that didn't go bad in the night that you didn't have power. Considering the food you normally kept, you had options. You settle on some cereal as you try to plan your day.
Brain.exe cannot run. Would you like to reboot? Yes or no?
No. You were never any good in the morning. Shower comes after breakfast in the morning, so you strip down and step in. Twilight did a great job with whatever magic she had going to keep your plumbing working. This water was the perfect temperature. The warm shower gets your blood pumping, allowing you to think more than a minute ahead. First order of business was finding work. 50 bits wasn't going to tide you over long, especially if drinking with Rainbow Dash was going to be a regular thing. You step out of the shower and find quite possibly the only plain shirt you own. You glance at the clock. 9:30. Assuming that Equestria has 24-hour days, the business day has already started. Better get cracking. You step out your door and make your way for town. Town was quite a distance away, about 3/4 of a mile if your admittedly shit internal GPS is right. As you step into town, you notice that there aren't as many ponies staring at you. A few here and there, but the majority of the town seem to just be ignoring you. You figure that they either stopped caring or assumed that the two weird ape creatures would be coming through more often. Either way, it was nice to not be gawked at. You find a town hall-ish looking building and look for a communal sign or something similar. Help wanted signs were always posted next to town hall, right? Wrong. Not a single help wanted sign near town hall.
Oh, fuck me.
Okay, plan B, hit the streets. As you wander around town, you see several potential places you could work. You start going through a mental checklist to figure out the best. You don't know much about cooking something that is more in-depth than boil the water, so Sugar Cube Corner is out. You see an orchard or something over the hills that would be sure to need more farmhands, but one look at your spindly arms tells you that you probably wouldn't hit that out of the park. You also have zero interest in either quills or sofas. What in the hell did those two even have to do with each other? You look at the clock and see that it is already past 10. Fuck, you're running short on both time and options. In the middle of your episode, you heard a pair of familiar voices. You glance down the road and see Fluttershy and Rarity approaching. Rarity seemed to see you too.
Why, hello there, Mous. How lovely to see you.
Hello, Mous.
Was this how she normally talks? Girl needs to speak up.
Hey, girls.
No time for friends, busy getting mad at a lack of work.
What are you doing in town today, Mous?
It would be easy to ignore them, but now wasn't the time to alienate people. You give them both a glance. They are demanding more of your attention now.
Looking for work? Anon and I are gonna need a steady income if we're gonna stay here.
You look them over. Their coats look shinier, and both their manes look like they've been gone over recently.
What are you two doing here?
Fluttershy gave you a smile. Aw, no. Still annoyed at the lack of work, no time for cute.
Oh, we just got back from our spa treatment. We go every week to relax.
These ponies had a spa? Wait, spa. Spas have masseurs. You remember that of the 8 people who allowed you to touch them back on Earth, at least 5 of them commented on how good of a back rub you gave. Considering that only one of them was related to you, that's a 50% chance you give a good back rub. Hell, that's 50% more ability than you had in anything else. You turn your attention back to your friends.
Where's the spa?
Rarity looks over her shoulder.
Down that road and left at the first corner. You can't miss it.
She turns back to you, but you're already gone.
Thanks, girls.
The spa looked simple enough on the outside. A few plants, glass door, all the better to relax someone. You step inside. It smells like incense in here. It would be relaxing at another time. The front desk is empty, save for a bell. You drop a hand on it to call for someone. From the back walk 2 earth ponies, one with a blue coat and pink mane, and the other with a blue mane and pink coat. Twins, then.
Hello? Can we help you?
What kind of accent was that? It sounded vaguely Slavic. You remember that Slavic kid from school? By the force, he was a douche. Getting distracted. Back on task, mister. Okay, you have to be nice. Use your words and remember to...
I'd like to be a masseur here.
Fucking shit. The pink one giggles. She and her sister walk up to the counter.
You want to work here? Perhaps we should start with your name.
I'm Mous.
Hello, Mous. I am Aloe, and this is Lotus.
Aloe, pink, Lotus, blue. Remember that now. Now Lotus speaks up.
So, what makes you think you can work here?
Not letting you fuck up this time, brain. Gotta think this one through. Shit. Saying you give good back rubs is a garbage reason. Think. Wait, you're an alien. You have digits.
These.
You hold up your hands.
Yes, you have hands. So?
Lotus was clearly not one to be easily impressed.
Just that. I have hands that end in fingers. Fingers that can spread out pressure much differently than hooves.
She steps out from behind the counter towards you.
And different is good?
Different is great, especially for all the different kinds of pain one comes to a spa to get rid of.
Lotus narrows her eyes and stares at you. After a moment, she turns around.
Massage my neck.
Excuse me?
This is your entrance exam. Impress me and you may have the job.
You quickly glance at Aloe behind the counter. She looks like she's trying not to laugh as she motions for you to go on. Fuck, okay. You can do this. You place your hands just below her ears and start rubbing. You try to feel for any obvious knots as you move down. If you're doing a good job, Lotus wasn't showing it. She stood as still as stone as you worked your way down to the base of her neck. After a few minutes, she motions for you to stop and walks back to her sister. She turns with her eyes still closed. You can see her eyes darting back and forth under her eyelids. Oh, fuck, you were so screwed. You're gonna have to learn how to go cook or something.
You pass.
Wait, what? Your face must have betrayed you.
You were right. Your hands can spread pressure to all the right areas. A little practice and will make you a proper masseuse.
You even get a smile out of her with that. You grow a big grin and pump your fist. First big hurdle was jumped and now you just need to...
Head back and wash up. It's almost noon.
I start now?
Lotus looked as poker-faced as she did before.
Yes. Here in Ponyville, we get an influx of customers around lunch. Pony's doing a lunch and spa date, probably.
Right, okay. Time to work. You start to walk back and Aloe motions for you to follow her. She takes you to a small room with a massage bed in the center. Various oils and lotions were on the wall. You turn your attention to her as she speaks.
Your job won't be all massages. We each do a bit of everything here, but we'll start you off with what you're comfortable with.
Okay, cool. She motions to the oil shelf.
You know what to do with those?
Not really, but you nod anyway?
Great. Welcome to the Ponyville Day Spa. Your first customer will be back soon. Good luck.
Yeah.
About 10 minutes after Aloe left, your first customer entered. She stopped in the doorway as she caught sight of you. She was an earth pony with cream-colored coat and a rich magenta mane. There was a rose on her backside. She looked a bit nervous. Okay, gotta relax her. Break out the charm.
Hello. My name is Mous, and I'm gonna be your masseur today. Feel free to lay down on the bed whenever you're ready.
She seemed to relax a bit and started walking towards the bed. You heard her hop up and lay down as you washed up at the sink in the rear of the room.
Is there anywhere you would like particular attention to be paid to, miss?
Might as well see if there's anywhere you could take care of quick. Anything to make this as simple as possible.
Roseluck, and right above my haunches has been killing me lately.
Okay. Haunches. What the fuck are haunches? You do a quick run-through of all your anatomical knowledge for the closest approximation. If you had to guess, lower back? You glance up at the shelf of lotions as you think. You are probably supposed to use these. Scanning over them, you see one marked coconut. Good enough. You spread some lotion on your hands and get to work on your first customer. Moment of truth. For all your guesswork, you are rewarded with a content sigh as you start rubbing. You try and alternate what sides you work on to similar results. Are you supposed to talk during this? Worth a shot.
Yeah, I can feel a lot of tension back here.
You always were a good liar.
If you don't mind my asking, what is it you do, Roseluck?
And now you're getting chummy with the customer. Ballsy. She lets out another sigh.
I work with my friends selling flowers. We've been rearranging our shop lately, so there's been a lot of heavy lifting.
Okay, that makes sense. You try and think of where a pony would carry things on their back and focus your attention there, also making sure to get her legs and hooves. Conversation flows as freely as it can. Roseluck tells you about her business, her friends, and how she got her cutie mark, the tattoo on her calf. For your part, you explain how you got here. Anon fell through that white void, landing on the outskirts of town, and your visit with royalty. You left out the part about Celestia's little meeting in the lower area near the garden. You also didn't tell her about when she was talking to that guard. Heyo! As time passes on, you start to wonder how long this is supposed to last. You've never had a massage before yourself. Your frame of reference is quite lacking. Okay, the spa probably opens around 8. You ran into Rarity and Fluttershy just past 10. They looked like they got more than just a massage, so an hour? You heard the pitter-patter of hooves coming down the hall. The sound gets close and you see Aloe walk by the door. Oh, thank God it's Aloe. You can work with that. She peeks in to see how you're doing and you quietly mouth, "How much longer?" as best as you can. She motions that you should be wrapping up before heading on her way. You make your way back to Roseluck's haunches as you finish up. You want to end this on a high note.
Okay, Miss Roseluck, I've done my best. How are you feeling?
She rises from the bed. She has a far-off look in her eye.
You are very good with those hands of yours, Mr. Mous. I'll definitely have to come back here.
Tell your friends.
Alone in the room again, you revel in your small victory as you try and purge the smell of coconut from the room. You aren't using coconut again for a while. You have 2 more customers that day. The first is some unbelievably large Pegasus with a white coat. You are amazed the guy didn't break the fucking bed. At least you know that ponies have steroids now. Your last customer for the day is a unicorn with a dark blue coat and mane that can only be described as fabulous. His only other discerning feature is the fact that his horn seems to be half as long as other unicorns. You tried to stay away from his horn. Experience has taught you that if something looks that Freudian, you probably shouldn't touch it. After your customers had gone and you were cleaning the putrid potpourri of stenches you had amassed in your room over the day, you heard what sounded like shouting coming down from the front of the store. You went to investigate. The sounds were indeed shouting. They got more distinct as you got closer.
I don't know what goes on here.
Came an angry male voice. It kinda reminded you of Spider-Man's boss at the newspaper.
And what, pray tell, goes on here, Mr. Whistleblower?
You know very well what's going on here. You and that sister of yours have set up a den of ill repute in our fair town.
As you walk into the front room, you see the scene at hand. Aloe and Lotus were behind the counter trying to talk down a group of 3 ponies. A gray Pegasus and orange unicorn flanked a brown earth pony in front of them. An earth pony you could only assume was this WhistleBlower guy.
Aloe, Lotus, is this guy refusing to pay?
That rustled his jimmies something fierce.
I have never set hoof in this horrid establishment until today, and I will not be insulted by a monster.
Monster? That almost annoyed you.
Sir, what is it you think we actually do in this horrid establishment that has your balls so bunched up?
He didn't like that, although you get the feeling he doesn't like much.
Is this how your employees talk to ponies here?
It is when those ponies insult those who work here.
You say as you take a few steps towards him. To his credit, he doesn't back down.
And I ask you a question.
Remembering your question, he looks at you straight in the eye.
It is quite obvious that this day spa is a front for these harlots to ply their vile trade in my town. I refuse to stand for that when there are children here.
Insulting your cool new bosses? No deal.
Hey, leave them out of this. It's not their fault that they can do their job well enough to make people feel good.
You kneel down a bit and get right in his face.
And I wouldn't be so quick to judge if my job were blowing whistles, champ.
You make sure to add finger quotes to that. Finger quotes piss everybody off. It takes him a minute to get your innuendo, but when he does, his scowl gets so big you swear he's gonna crack his own teeth.
How can you not see what's going on here? The region those two come from is a haven for demons who would run such a disgusting service. These two are probably laying with each other every night to prepare themselves for their customers.
This poor idiot doesn't hear how stupid he sounds. You are about to counter with a particularly scathing insult towards his mother, but Lotus speaks before you can get a chance to.
What me and my sister do is strictly between us, Mr. Whistleblower. And anyone we allow to watch.
Oh god, your sides. It takes every ounce of your willpower to keep your composure. A boss who is not only cool enough to hire your rude ass, but has balls big enough to make a joke about fucking her sister while some prick is yelling at her? Now you didn't just want to work here, you needed to work here. Aloe can't contain herself and continues a giggling fit behind the counter. Whistleblower, apparently not understanding heavy sarcasm, gets positively lucid.
You admit it! I'll have this place closed! I'll have it torn down and the earth underneath paved over!
He continues to rant and rave. You give a glance back to Lotus as she shakes her head. Not in the mood for any more of this crap, you grab Whistleblower by the mane and start dragging him towards the door.
What are you doing? Let go of me!
He shouts as he tries to wriggle out of your grip while his flunkies just stare. You toss him out the front door and his henchmen follow to help him up. They all stare at you.
Mr. Whistleblower, you have convinced me. Now you go away and go grab the authorities while I keep this hive of scum and villainy secure.
This isn't over! I will not stop until this—
You shut the door and his squawking stops. The three of you simply enjoy the silence for a moment as that pain in the ass is gone. Lotus looks at you with a small smile.
Thank you, Mous. That was very kind of you to stick up for us. Yeah. Thanks.
It was a pleasure. If we're set for the day, I'm gonna head out.
Of course, Mous. Be here by 8 tomorrow morning for the day shift.
Yes, ma'am.
You make your way for the back door. You stop as you're about to step out and turn to your bosses.
You guys aren't really running this place as a front for a brothel, are you?
Lotus doesn't meet your eyes as she goes over a schedule.
Not since moving here.
She gives you a wink, prematurely settling your jimmies. With a laugh, you step out the back door and begin the walk home. The sun is low on the horizon as you walk. The wind blows the trees and you hear a symphony of leaves brush against each other. It was really nice here, much better than where your apartment used to sit. At least it doesn't smell like gas.
Hey, Mous!
To your surprise, Anon and Rainbow Dash come racing up to you, carrying bags.
Where have you been, man? You were gone when we woke up.
You two lightweights crashed on the couch last night and were still out when I left. I went into town and I got a job at the day spa.
I don't know, man. I heard that place was a front for some shady stuff.
You chuckle at the events of the day.
It's not, don't worry. But you aren't the only one to think that.
That's awesome, man. I'll find a job in town tomorrow.
Your bro looks at you and holds up the bags he's carrying.
Rainbow and I sold that bunch of crap we had on the tarp and used the money to replace all the booze we drank. We got a whole 20 bits for your stupid didgeridoo. We were thinking movie night again tonight.
Damn it, it wasn't your didgeridoo! You had no idea how it got there, but that wasn't important.
Rainbow?
Yeah, man. She helped fix the house and helped get rid of all the crap without even asking. Add that in with all the fun we had last night, and I'd say it's bro material.
Your first Equestria, bro? Your game? The more bros, the better. You smile and look at your bros.
I'm down for movies, but I'm not watching The fucking Room again.
That's cool, man. We can find something else.
Something else wound up being some movie where Vin Diesel had to babysit some fucking kids. Next time, you pick the movie.